Hey guys, welcome back to another math lesson. Today we are going one step further into our algebra stuff and we're going to look at simplifying algebraic expressions. And all that means is we're going to match up things that go together and make that equation or that expression look a little neater. So, an expression is not an equation. Why is an expression not an equation? Or what's the difference? An expression, an algebraic expression, does not have an equal sign. No equal sign, which means there's no answer. So our goal today is not to solve. There's no answer. We're not solving. We're just grouping. We're going to look at, it's going to have lots of numbers and lots of variables. All right, so if I gave you this very lovely expression that says 21 minus 8, parentheses, v plus 3, close parentheses, plus 3, plus 7v. That's it. I know you're thinking, that's it? Yeah, that's it. So my first step, I'm going to switch colors. My first step is to change subtraction to adding the opposite. I promise you want to do this step because it's going to keep your signs straight. So step one, you're going to go through it. You're going to look for all the subtraction signs. Change, subtract, to add the opposite. So this is a minus, so I'm going to change it to plus a negative. There are no other subtraction signs, so I'm done with step one. Step two, I see a number touching some parentheses where there's a variable inside. Back in 6th grade, y'all did this, where you distributed. We're going to distribute. And when you distribute, you're looking for a number that's touching parentheses. And inside those parentheses is a variable. Because if there's a variable added to a number like this, v plus 3, you cannot do anything with that. It just is v plus 3. So to simplify this, we're going to distribute that number to the v, and we're going to distribute that number to the 3. So instead of saying 8 times v plus 3, it's it's a negative 8. Negative 8 times v plus negative 8 times 3. So what is negative 8 times v? It's negative 8v. If you didn't get that one, don't worry. So when we multiply by variables, you can multiply, you can divide by variables with numbers, but you don't add and subtract variables and numbers. Also, another way to think of this, it's like saying you have 8 sets, or negative. You have negative 8 sets of v plus 3s. So you've got v plus 3, v plus 3, v plus 3, v, 8 times. So that's how many v's would that be? 8, or negative 8. So this is negative 8v, negative 8v plus, because this is a plus. And what's negative 8 times 3? 24. Oh, negative 24. This is what I was saying about you want to do the plus, that you want to change it to plus a negative because you have to distribute that negative inside as well. All right, once we've distributed, next step is we're going to, well, after every step, you want to rewrite everything else. So we've got 21 plus, because there's a plus sign, and then over here you've got plus 3 and plus 7v. So after each step, rewrite the rest of the stuff. All right. Actual step 3. We are going to combine variables. Combine. I'm going to say like variables because there is no rule that says you have to have one variable. In fact, once you get out of middle school, the chances that you have one variable decrease a lot. So my variable in this situation is only v. So I have a negative 8v and I have 7v's. So if I have negative 8v's and I add 7v's to that, how much do you have? What's negative 8 plus 7? Negative 1. So I have negative 1v. Negative 1v, which we know we don't have to write the 1v, and we will get rid of that here in a little bit. You can just say negative v, and this is a 1. It kind of looks like L. It's a negative 1v. Next, we're going to combine our numbers. So next, we're going to look at the numbers. Combine numbers. All right, so I've got a 21, a negative 24, and a positive 3. What is 21 plus negative 24 plus 3? This is 0. I had to double check that because I just wanted to make sure. But yeah, this comes out to 0 because if I have 21 positives and 3 positives, that's 24 positives, and negative 24 is negative 24. So when you had all of this stuff up here, all of that all cleans up. So the last thing you're going to do is you're going to rewrite in order. You want variables first. Variables in alphabetical order. Again, we only have one variable. But variables in alpha order. Then numbers. But since that came out to 0, my answer here is just negative v. So all this mess, when you cleaned it up and you sorted it out, and I love doing this, you got negative v. Let's do another one. This one is 3 parentheses d minus 4 plus 2 minus 2d plus 1 minus d. All right, what is step 1? What do I need to do first? I need to go through and change all those subtraction signs to plus and negative. So the first thing I'm going to do, I see one here, plus negative, plus a negative, and plus a negative. All right, what's step 2? I need to distribute this 3. So I'm going to do 3 times d, and then 3 times negative 4. And remember, that's like we're saying there's 3 sets of d plus negative 4. So d plus negative 4, d plus negative 4, and d plus negative 4. So what's 3 times d? Or how many d's would there be? 3d. And 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. So plus negative 12. And what do I need to do after each step? I want to rewrite everything. So plus 2 plus negative 2d plus 1 plus negative d. I know that you're going to get bored with that and you're going to think it's redundant, but I promise, when they get real messy, it's really easy to lose something. So make sure you're rewriting everything. All right, what's next? I want to combine my variables. So there's 3 positive d, there's negative 2d, and then there's a negative d. So what's 3 minus 2, or negative 2? 3 plus a negative 2. That would be 1d. And so 1d minus a d, that's 0d. I'm going to write 0d just because I don't want to forget that it is 0. But we're going to get rid of this because you don't really say you have nothing. You just leave it out. All right, and next step. Combine the numbers. So you have negative 12 here, 2, and 1. So what's negative 12 plus 2 plus 1? It'd be a negative 9. So once I've done all this mess came out to just negative 9. And that's it. So for now, we're just going to deal with only these. But once you get into higher levels, you're going to have like variables squared. And variables squared go with other variable squares. So like x squared and an x squared are 2x squareds. But you don't really have to worry about that right now. So we're baby stepping into it. The big thing for now is just to know that you're going to add your variable to other variable, and you're going to add numbers to other numbers. All right, I will see you guys next time.